Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. It's Friday. Yes, Friday. Don't we all look forward to Friday? I know I do. It's the truth. Anyway, yes, so Friday, February 23rd, 2024. This is my post-market wrap-up. I really shouldn't be so like giggly right now, but I'm in a good mood because I'm here with all of you. It's the truth. But we have some serious stuff to cover. Let's start off with the basic stuff so I can just get my head in the right direction. Oh my, oh my, you mean new record highs for the Dow and the S&P? How about yes, yes, amazing, isn't it? No, it's as just as you and I had predicted here. The Nasdaq not so much. I mean, look, this market did nothing today, honestly. Yeah, we got new record highs here, but barely. 10-year yield came down 4.25 last time I looked at it. Relative strength of the dollar lower. Actually, it was flat today, flat. So, look, does that mean anything major has changed with regard to risk? No, it doesn't. Risk in this market still remains at a pretty crazy level right now. We're not in extreme risk, but the market seems very comfortable here, honestly, and we're just going to ride the wave. We're going to ride this wave. It's not going to last, in my view, again, because of what the Federal Reserve has planned for you and me and everybody. We're going to see a lot of changes, probably not too far off. And then in 2025, I mean, this is going to be epic. I mean, the more I ponder and think about and study and talk to people who are, I would say, in the know. I talk to everybody. I really do. And we won't mention any names here because I've been kind of asked not to do that. And that's okay. I respect everybody. But whatever I know, you know. So just be happy about that. At least I am. I'll be honest with you. Information is key. You must, we have to gather this. It's not always going to be right, but for the most part, it is. So, looking at the rest of this market today, you had Bitcoin. We'll talk about that in just a moment too. So, Bitcoin around 51,000, cryptos in aggregate, flattish, whatever. Gold and silver catching a bid. Crude oil getting hit pretty good on the back of maybe there's going to be some kind of a ceasefire. That ain't happening, people. No, it's not going to. It's going to go on and on and on. So just count on that too. And on the economic front here, so what we got here is actually revolting. It's disgusting. It's out of control and it's deliberate. People are falling victim here to a trap that is being set for them on an incredible scale. You got home foreclosures in most areas now picking up steam. So people are being foreclosed on. You also have, it's not stopping, debt defaults across the board going higher and higher and higher as people are being pushed down to the lower rung. Everything that they have is being taken away from them. The Great Taking, pretty good documentary. You should watch it. Nothing new to anyone that follows this blog. Everything in the Great Taking, common knowledge to anyone that understands what's going on. But the guy did a great job of laying it out and how it's going to move going forward. And it plays right into what the Federal Reserve, world control, has planned for everybody. And it's going to be pretty monumental, honestly. All right, look, now just real quick talking about Bitcoin, because I got a couple of questions about this. So this halving with Bitcoin, what does it actually mean? It's pretty simple. Mining. Let's in aggregate. When this happens here, the mining for these coins gets cut in half, which means they become more scarce. This will prove to be bullish. There's no doubt about it, in my view. Expect volatility. You know that. I have told all of you since I don't know how long, especially this year, we're going to see a lot more volatility, in my view. I covered this at the end of last year with regard to crypto. Just count on it. It's just the way it's going to go. And look, with regard to Bitcoin, I know there's a lot of haters out here. People are going to be stunned. When I say stunned, I can't underscore that enough. Where Bitcoin is eventually going to go is going to shock the world. Let me just say that. It's going to shock the world. So just be prepared for that. And as you know, I believe every single one of you here that are with me needs to have some of this in your portfolio or in your investment platform. Okay. I'm not telling anyone to go crazy here. A little bit. All right. Just a little bit. It's all you need. And you will be rewarded for that. I can't imagine another way out of that. It's just going to happen, and people again are going to be shocked. All the calls for it going to zero, every single one of them. I don't care who it's coming from, whether it's from a central bank like the European Central Bank just yesterday saying Bitcoin does not belong in your portfolio. It's not a means of transaction or anything else. Okay, that should tell you something. When you got people like Jamie Dimon, okay, basically saying the same thing, the polar opposite on an incredible scale is obviously true. Now, you and me, we know about this stuff here. This stuff, if you follow this blog and this stuff, or at least this is not in your portfolio, you almost don't belong here. Okay, this is the key. I'm holding the key here to betting against the debt, becoming your own central bank. I started with that over 10 years ago, explaining to people this is the key. This is my favorite asset of all time. Love this stuff. You need to take advantage of this. Global debt. Look, how many of you believe that, I don't know, an act of God is going to occur? A miracle is going to happen, and global debt is all of a sudden just going to reverse here. It's going to get better. Central banks are going to give up their one and only power just by a decree from the Almighty to stop doing what they're doing. No, they're not done. They're not done by orders of magnitude that will envelop not just the world, but everything else, going out to the far reaches of space and under the ocean and everything else you want to go to. So that's a fact. So you need to have some of that in your, this is a big part of my portfolio, people, just so you know, on top of everything else. Anyway, with that said, people, so I already covered the economic front here, which is, again, foreclosures, debt default skyrocketing, and this all plays into the deliberate plan of the Federal Reserve here to extort control on all of us, central banks collectively. Their goal here is to change. We're going to end up in a whole new paradigm, a whole new system. I've been telling you this for years. It's building up right now. It's kind of funny. I get comments from people all the time, and they comment here too. So, Greg, we've been waiting for the market crash. When is it going to happen? My take on this. I've been long this market for years. I'm getting longer at every opportunity I can possibly take until we see a meltdown in the debt market. People have no idea what they're looking at. Again, it's the illusion of the market. People are so brainwashed. They are so indoctrinated, and it's by design, into thinking, hey, the stock market is high. Oh my, we just hit a new record high today with regard to the Dow and the S&P. Okay, so the economy must be booming. Nothing could be more distorted or twisted from the truth. Our economy is being destroyed. It's deliberate. It's an act of a malice by central banks who are not done. And so let's just cover what I wanted to talk about here. There are basically 5 things, and I just I'm sitting here writing stuff down as I always do. Basically 5 things. 1, 2. Let me just make sure. 5. 5 things that are going to happen, and in pretty much this order as to what the Federal Reserve has planned for all of us here. So this is what we got, and I want to hear from you on these things. All of us here, look. It is my belief, at least, that I probably despise central banking more than any person on this planet Earth. I really, really do. And I'm sure most of you here are either pretty much up to my standards with regard to that, or I don't know if I don't think anyone could hate central bankers and central banking worse. These are the enemy. They have a goal here. Their goal is to extort control via the financial system. They run it all. They control the economy, the markets, all of it. And now it's gotten way beyond that with the control of information here and propaganda and distractions and deceptions, right? Axiom, how you been, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. I mean, these are creatures of the highest order. I don't even think they're human beings. And I say that because they don't have a human quality, and none of them do. They know what they're doing. Our politicians know what they're doing. The people running for president know what they're doing, but they can't let you know about it. Okay. Again, they must play the game. So with regard to the 5 things that the Federal Reserve has planned for you and I, most of these we've covered, but let's cover these things. I'm gonna say them and then we'll go over them. Economic destruction on an epic scale. Creating massive dependency on the system, slaves to the system. They must expand war, and many, I can't underscore that, people are going to die. Eventual global financial cataclysm. That's what this is all about here, okay? And a new system. They're going to have people beg on their knees for a new system. People are going to be put into a spot where they are willing to accept anything for help. And that's what the Federal Reserve is doing. And now that will lead to a new monetary system, a new system of extreme control. And people are going to be forced to accept it. This is going to be rebellions breaking out all over the world. At one point, and these will be quickly squashed. Believe me, they have every single base covered here, and they are creating a slave planet. That's what they want. Slaves to them. They are the overlords. Okay, 2-tier society. The middle class is all but extinct right now. 1 and 2 percenters always going to do well. Again, most of you know my take on this. When you hear anything talking about trickle down economics, the only thing that's trickling down is this, what's trickling into Janet Yellen's depends over there. That's it. And those zombies sitting behind the Resolute desk currently, who's more than likely going to be selected yet again. I almost have no doubt that's where this is going here. Could it change? Maybe. But right now, the way things are lining up, that's where it's going. I've covered what's going on. Look, the insiders all know it already. That's where they're dumping their stocks. They're dumping positions, CEOs, senators. You know, they get a little insight into this stuff that maybe you and I don't. You know what I mean? But you see, we're not that stupid. Now, you and I realize something, and this plays into why war is going to expand. And we've talked about it before, but I want to do a little quick review. This is the Federal Reserve's repo operation for the last year. This is where we're going. And this mechanism here, again, is just to trick the system into thinking that it's more liquid than it is, passing back and forth vast amounts of cash. We've covered this a gazillion times between the Fed and other financial institutions. It's just a way to trick the system. Okay, now as this is waning, okay, what are we seeing? War, more war, sanctions, and everything as you can think of. We're at war. This is World War III. It's just the beginning stages of it here. And again, going back to, let me see, this was 1, 2, 3 out of my list of 5. They must expand war, and I wrote, many will die. Do you see that? I mean, look, how many of you disagree with me? Do you disagree with what I've said here? Because if you do, you need to wake up, just maybe a lot, to really get a handle on where this is going here. Nothing and no person is going to save you here. You have to look out for yourself and in each other. Obviously, what do we leave off every Friday? And we're going to do. I'm not going to say it right now because we're going to do it soon. But you know what I'm talking about here, people. Betting against the debt, becoming our own central banks, realizing where this is all going. You and I, again, are so freaking far ahead of the curve on all this. It's astonishing that this blog doesn't have 10 times the people that we have. But people don't want to hear this stuff. People want to be lied to more and more. When you hit anyone with even this much truth, they cannot handle it. Okay. People are, again, they've been indoctrinated. They've been lied to since the moment they've taken their first breath. When they can comprehend languages, the lies start, the distractions, the deceptions, the propaganda. Right out of their parents' own mouth, as a matter of fact, for multiple reasons. Okay. It's all about control. So again, when they start to think a little bit outside the box, number one, they become the enemy. They become the enemy of everyone. They don't want thinkers. You're not allowed to think. Free thought, forget about it. There's no such thing as free thought. You must think the way that you're told to by the propaganda ministry and I guess the crowd out there. Because if you dare to maybe deviate from the norm, well, then, you become public enemy number one. You want to make enemies? Tell somebody the truth. That's it. That's how you will make enemies. People can't see it. They become blinded. They become blind. Right, Jody? Jody Wells. Love it. It's the truth. The indoctrination process is so complete by the time people reach adulthood. And then the whole divide and conquer mechanism is taken over again when they realize things like the tooth fairy aren't real. It's just an incredible thing. It really is how this whole thing, and then even religion, as a matter of fact, someone's here mentioning that. This whole thing is an indoctrination on an incredible scale, being used against man and women, mankind, since the beginning of time, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. Anyway, so again, as this is, it's no, look, we've covered this before. As this is being drawn down here, and the system is realizing it's not as liquid as it was thinking it was, say back here, war is expanding another mechanism to pull more cash into the now from the future, which does nothing but empower central banks. Again, who funds all that? Where do all the funds come from that our lovely creature behind the Resolute desk is talking about sending to Ukraine and Israel and everything, in our current war with Russia and everything else here? Lava, thank you. Wow. Anyway, where does those cash come from? For everything. We don't have it. All we do is run debts and deficits. It's the Fed. It's central banks who make up that difference gladly. Okay. And all this does is create more distortions and a lot more inflation. What did we find out today? Food inflation continues to skyrocket, outpacing everyone's projections except yours and mine, because we know where this is going. No amount, let me explain this to you. Obviously, they've been raising rates and raising rates and raising rates, and inflation is still rising. Do you recall when you and I, the first day we found out that this was going to take place, we said it wasn't going to do a damn thing? You think we nailed that one to the wall too? How about, yes, we did. And I'm going to tell you right now, part of the Federal Reserve's scheme to inflate, okay, because that's the central bank's power, is to cut rates. How does the central bank cut rates? All of you know that. How does the central bank keep rates low? They can't just say it. They can't just wave a magic wand. Oh, and all of a sudden it happens. No, they have to create the cash out of nothing, add it to digital screen in any amount they want, and buy the debt. It's an incredible situation here. They issue debt through one door, they buy it back through another. They issue debt through one door, they buy it back through another, and they try to convince us that this is fine. And what is the effect of this? Global inflation. Okay, that's where we got here, and nobody has changed this. Not this freaking president, not the last one, and the one before him, and everybody else. All they've done is empower these freaking institutions who are the enemy. They know who the enemy is, but they can't tell you. Stan, all they care about is the 1% and 2%ers in themselves. That's it. You think one of these freaks is going to be different? Well, you're in for a real rude awakening. People, look, this guy loves you so much. That's why I get so passionate about this stuff. I'm sweating right now. You guys and girls make me sweat. Anyway, anything else that you guys and girls want to cover here before we depart for the weekend? Tomorrow's my only day off. Sunday, I do a markets look ahead. I generally write an article for the Trends Journal, for which I do for nothing because I love Gerald Celente. And all of you got to listen to what that guy has to say, because he's on top of it and he cares all about you. It's really the truth. The man cares so much, deeply. Anyway, were you guys and girls? Yes. I'm going racing Sunday. I hope you guys, you guys want to see something. I just ran my fastest run ever last night. I did a quarter mile in 8.376 seconds. About in the low 8 seconds. It was incredible with the wheels in the air. You want to see what that looked like? Well, it's on my Instagram. I hope you check that out in the description of this video. Check this stuff out. It's awesome. You want to have a little fun? Let's have a little fun together. Yes, Goulstein. We are long out of Cottsdale. You guys are so funny. JEPI or JEPQ. Look, I own both of these things. All right. The great question. I think this is what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to tell you, I am an open book. All of you know how I operate. So I am setting up my portfolio in both of these things. I'm going to own 60%. Let's say I have X amount of dollars. I'm putting 60% of those dollars into JEPI and 40% JEPQ. So 60/40. That's how I'm setting this up here. Again, pays a nice monthly dividend. It's a nice cash flow here. Axiom, no, I haven't added to any cryptos since I told you what I did a while back. I pulled my profit out of Bitcoin, and I'm riding the wave right now. It's a free ride. With regard to Bitcoin is my largest holding with regard to cryptos. I own a whole bunch of them, but that's my largest holding, actually by far, my largest holding. Even pulling my profit out of there. Like I said, I like riding on the house's money. It's a pretty cool thing. Um, as you all know. Anyway, what else can we speak about before we split out here, people? We're kind of there. We kind of got it. I want to hear from you on these top 5 things I spoke about. Okay, go over it again. I'll just say it real quick. This is what the Fed's going to do: economic destruction, and I cannot underscore that enough. Creating massive dependency on the system. They must expand war, many will die. Eventual global financial cataclysm, and then a completely new system. That's what they have in store for you, me, and everybody else. And we better get hip to this, and we better start preparing for that. And I know you are if you follow this blog here from every freaking level. Now let's finish this. All right, bring it in, bring it in. No one's looking, and if they are, really, maybe they should join in too. Love each other, care about each other, be charitable. People, I mean this with all I got. I love you so much. This is a family. At least I feel that way, and I think most of you do too. All right. So let's put this week behind us. We will get together again on Sunday for my markets a look ahead segment, and then I am off to the drag races. I will be racing all day, all freaking day. Maybe some of you will show up, Bradenton Motorsports Park. Invariably, a couple of you do show up at these races, and it's a lot of fun to meet you guys and girls. Yes, yelling is very liquid. Big Rick. Pretty crazy stuff. All right. Please follow my Instagram. It'll distract you from some of this. Even if you think that you like cars or drag racing or whatever, just go check it out. What do you got to lose? All right. Like I said, link below. I am out of here, and I will see you Sunday. Promise. All right. That's all.